come out here earlier on running, pulling these hose lines right there. You see them underneath underneath those other sets of pipes down there. Don't know the cause. We don't have any type of rhyme to reason how this happened. Right now, though, that doesn't seem like they're asking for any kind of outside help. Go ahead. Go ahead. Copy. Thank you for that. And I'm just any kind of information you can give us, because we don't know why they're keeping this inside the plant. We haven't seen any outside fire crews showing up. I like this too. I like this because we can see the crane. Copy. Thank you for that. It's something I can use. We're still on the web right now, and the information we just got is the Torrance Refining Company is using their own on-site fire suppression people and crew personnel right now to battle these flames. We do see, and this is all you know, we're just pointing out what we're seeing. We see. Copy all. Well, you can see the flames just burning out of control right now at the Torrance Refining Company out here. We're very close to 190th and Crenshaw. Huge flames are just continuing to bellow out of these pipes out here. We do see a lot of water being put on it. This is the on-site fire suppression that they have built into the refinery. Right now, as we understand it, LA County Fire has not been called to assist in this firefight. We know that there's personnel down there from the actual company itself, from the plant. They've been working to keep these flames contained. We can see a lot of open hoses and open spigots out there, putting a lot of water on the area that is burning. Also, we know that 2 fire trucks that are also from the plant on scene out here right now. They came from a different part of the refinery to this area right now. They're getting their ducks in a row, bringing out their hoses. They're trying to contain these flames. The only thing we can say right now, and it's all speculation because we're just kind of watching along and seeing what they're doing, there is a very large crane in the area. You can see that piece of construction equipment right there in the middle of the shot. Also, lines are basically laying down or down towards that area where these flames are. So perhaps it's all speculation. They were doing some work out here, and this ignited this afternoon. It does seem to be some sort of very flammable liquid that is under some sort of pressure, that is burning with some great intensity, even though there is a lot of water being placed onto this area that's burning right now.
I got upset, like, oh, this is the worst Hanukkah ever.
Did you love eating all of the Jewish food?
Identify it, but maybe just get more of a feeling exactly where this is. We did also, when we first arrived, just an observation. We haven't seen any medical treatment to anybody in the area. We don't believe that anybody was injured this afternoon, but I can tell you right now, a lot of water being placed on this open flame out here in the middle of the refinery, very close to the intersection of 190th and Crenshaw. We are being told that this is the Torrance Refining Company refinery. Right now, a very active firefight still underway. Exactly. These are the people that work at the refinery, as far as we can tell. The fire trucks that were showing up out here don't have any markings on them, so I believe that they belong to the refinery itself. You know, they have their own crews here for situations like this. And all the water that you see out here, this is all built into the refinery. These are spigots out here. This one could be manned by a person, but we saw big motors up there, so we understand, or we're figuring out that this is all done remotely so that they keep the people safe if the fire was was, closer to it. But right now, though, we can see major streams being blown into that area from different directions down there on the ground. You can see some of their firefighting people down there putting on their gear and fire suppression suits, and they're going to try to get closer to it. Juan, when we say that under high pressure, these are just, observations from the sky. By no means do I have any idea how they actually refine fuel, make oil into gasoline. But I can tell you, just from seeing fires like this in the past, that these flames being pushed out of something and being ignited, and that's what's. And even though there's so much water being put on it right now, it can't smother these flames. So they're going to have to put together some plan to put this out. Those professionals down there, I'm pretty sure they are the guys that are going to be able to do it. Right now, though, we know that no outside fire trucks have been called for assistance, and it is staying basically in-house right now. They're going to try to control this on their own. Okay. More down. Copy. And if you guys are watching us right now on the web and or on Facebook or kcal9.com, thank you for joining us. What we're looking at right now is some fire at the Torrance Refining Company refinery. It is very close to an area that where there was an explosion a couple of years ago. Right now, though, we know that no outside fire companies have been brought into this, meaning LA County Fire has not been asked to assist right now. The crews on scene at the refinery and using their own built-in fire suppression system are trying to keep these flames under control this afternoon. But we do see a lot of fire continuing to bellow out of one of those, maybe several lines down there where in the center of this facility this afternoon. We know that 2 fire trucks have arrived out here. We also saw many of the built-in systems polluting a lot of water on it. I can imagine the numbers here for gallons of water that are being sprayed onto the area that's on fire this afternoon. When we first arrived, we saw multiple personnel down there, with a hurried attitude. We saw them moving very quickly, pulling hose lines, getting other things into place, probably to try to keep this fire from spreading. The only thing we can say, and this is just observation, we don't have any exact ideas on how this is happening. We do see a firefighter now very close to the flames. I was going to show you the crane, but you do see I have somebody down there right now turning a valve. It seems like he's making an effort right now to shut some of those lines off, and that's probably going to be the only way that they're going to be able to handle this this type of fire. The water is not going to do it. They're going to have to shut off the supply somehow. But anything like that could be very dangerous. These guys are, I'm sure, extremely trained in these type of situations. They know exactly what they're doing down there, what line they're shutting off, what they're changing. I'm keeping an eye on those two. I know the flames are really starting to buck up there underneath all that water. Going to keep those two guys in the shot. Right now, though, they are actually making an aggressive attack on it the best they can with the water to cool the items around it. That's probably going to be one of the things they want to do. They don't want those lines to heat up that are not affected by these by the fire. And of course, they're going to want to shut that line off, whatever is feeding those flames right now. Some of those crews right there, those are going to be on scene. That's going to be part of the actual refinery itself. Employees of the refinery out there right now, turning those valves, probably trying to shut off the flow to whatever is creating these flames this afternoon. Seems to have been some sort of construction area right here. It looks like they are doing some work. Cannot say for sure. Obviously, these type of all that investigation will come later on, and we'll get those exact answers much later after the fire is out. It's just an observation right now. It does seem like they have some construction going on in this area. Huge flames, though, continue to burn out here, and this is probably, obviously we're watching it burn. It's either going to be some sort of natural gas, if not gasoline itself. So everybody knows that these burn extremely hot, and they're probably very worried about the lines around it right now. That's probably one of the reasons why you see all that water being dumped on it. You got some firefighters over there right now actively turning the wrenches and turning off spigots right now, or maybe moving lines. But what we see is an activity right now where they're trying to contain or actually extinguish the flames, probably by cutting off the fuel source right now. Get an idea, though. You can see all this steam right now just in the area, just coming off those pipes. That's probably from the water being sprayed on there, and these lines being heated up from those flames, and could create some sort of actually more of an issue. So right now, though, very scary moments, I'm sure, for the units that might have been in the area when it happened, the people working down there, employees. And obviously, after that explosion a couple of years ago, if any of the residents nearby off of 190th and near Crenshaw, they are probably looking up and thinking to myself, oh gosh, not again. We haven't heard any official shelter in place. Our desk would let us know that, I'm sure. So there hasn't been any type of worry of an explosion and or toxic fumes. Whatever it is right now is just burning very hot, very rapidly, and whatever's coming out is being burned up. So right now the firefight continues, fire suppression in place out here. You can see the water going, just dumping on those flames right now. Firefighters from the plant are out here working to contain it and basically shut off whatever's feeding those flames. You can see them up there on those catwalks moving around. Very dangerous situation, just multiplied right now with these huge flames continuing on, and then of course all that water being dumped on there, making things probably slippery and just more hectic. But I'm sure that this is what they want, and they're keeping an eye on those flames, and they do seem to be slowing a little bit. We did see this earlier on where it did kind of slow down and then just reignite itself. Right now, though, possibly that whatever valve they were turning is working as those flames are starting to get smaller and smaller. We're going to keep an eye on this along with everybody else. Simon Test, just letting you guys know first in the loop here that it does seem like whatever they shut off the fire. The fire crews that are out there were turning some knobs and valves, and it does seem like the flames are almost out. Well, it was John. John was like, "Hey, is that a burn off? Because it's in the wrong spot." Friday, beer. No. I think end of sweeps is Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Last Friday is sweeps, yeah. And if you're still listening to us on the web, thank you so much for joining us. You're catching the tail end of this right now if you haven't been watching the entire time. We were talking how we found this story this afternoon. It was really, we were just in the area and saw the fire and the water. And my pilot, John, was like, hey, what's that all about? So we came over and took a look, and sure enough, just didn't seem like something that should be happening the way it was happening. So we do know right now that it is a fire, an emergency situation on the plant out here. This is going to be the Carson Refining Company refinery. It's very close to 190th and Crenshaw. There was huge fire coming out of the center of those pipes that we saw right there, probably being fueled by flammable liquid under some sort of pressure. The company or the refinery's fire suppression system, that's what was being utilized. So those are big words. That's what they were using right now to keep those flames in check, and also the other pipes around it from heating up and possibly causing other ruptures. That's what you're seeing right there. They did not ask for the assistance of any of the local fire departments. LA County Fire did not make their way out here this afternoon. What they did do is bring out their own teams that are here on site all the time because of it being a refinery, and also used a lot of the suppression of the fire equipment that is here on scene. You can see these spigots and the water being thrown onto these areas. These are all hard points inside the plant. This is built into the plant when they build these refineries for situations like this. The only thing that sits here that just observation is that's out of place right now is going to be that crane in the center of the screen. Would guess that that does not live here all the time. But it is here right now, and we're kind of wondering perhaps they were doing some kind of maintenance or repair on one of the lines out here, and that may have caused the fire that we're seeing. What we do know, though, is that the flames were slowing down. Now just kind of just about the same that we saw earlier on. But when we first arrived, it was a spectacularly huge flames blowing out of this area right there right now. Much smaller flames. The fire suppression team still here on scene. You can see these guys making observations, and we saw them earlier on turning valves and basically trying to figure out exactly what valve to turn and to slow the feed of whatever has been burning out here. Right now, though, the firefight continues. We understand no injuries. We understand no injuries, and right now it's just maybe a waiting game to see if they did turn the right valve, or perhaps they're trying to figure out another way to shut that whatever's feeding those flames to just shut off the fuel. You can see every now and then when the water hits these pipes down there, how it turns to instant steam, and that just gives you an idea of the intensity of those flames and the heat that is being generated by those flames. One of the reasons why they're putting so much water on the area, and of course, I'm not a professional firefighter, but I do know from watching many of these fires, any type of fire that's being fed by a fuel, that a lot of times they cannot put that fire out just with the water. The water is basically there to keep things from spreading, to keep the area cool. We've seen this on broken gas lines, natural gas lines, and right now we're seeing them use this type of scenario on the lines here at the refinery. But fire continues to burn out here. And if you're still watching us on the web, we're getting ready for our afternoon or early evening show, Channel 5 at CBS. Right now, it's kind of, if you're saying, well, that looks kind of blue, what we're doing is we're setting up the camera because it's getting a little bit darker. The sun's going down this afternoon, so I'm trying to get the what is called correct color for the camera. Right now, that's what we're doing, and we're going to be setting stuff up here, and we're going to get ready to go for the 5 o'clock. I believe it's going to be Pat and Paul. It's always a good watch, very entertaining and full of information. Right now, though, the fire does seem to be slowing down quite a bit. We're in the city of Torrance. This is going to be the Torrance Refining Company refinery. And right now, flames continue to bellow out of a pipe where they've been possibly doing some work this afternoon. The crews out here are working to get that fire in check and doing a great job. We understand no injuries, which is a huge plus. But earlier on, the flames were just blowing out of that area uncontrolled. Right now, it does seem like one spot is still burning down there. Crews from the plant are out here working, trying to keep these flames in check. I'm back with you. Sorry about that. That was human. That was basically what we see right now is just a little bit of fire, but that's not what we saw earlier on. We saw huge flames blowing out of that section right there when we first arrived out here at the refinery in Torrance. Now, this is called the Torrance Refining Company refinery, very close to 190th and Crenshaw. We see that the crews on scene, these are firefighters from the refinery themselves. These guys work here. They're the ones that have been handling the problem. No outside fire companies have been called out here. We also understand no evacuations and no street closures have been asked for either. We do know that the fire right now is starting to slow down. They do have the fire crews there on scene. We've been watching as they've been working on those lines, actually turning valves, probably shutting off whatever is fueling those flames right there. No word on how this fire got started in the first place, but right now, though, it is still a very active firefight that you can see. No evacuations, no injuries at this time. Live in Sky 2, I'm Stu Mandel. Pat Ball, back to you. All that time I was talking on the web and we weren't even up. Well, I didn't turn it off before we went live. Oh, yeah. Simon Dest just checking in. I don't know if you'd like to, but it does seem like they've got this under control. Would you like to get fuel now? We've got about 50 minutes on scene, 50 minutes on scene. There go the gas prices. Really? I wonder if they just showed up because. All right, I'm gonna. I don't know. Well, maybe it is county. It doesn't say anything on the roof. Maybe it's one of theirs. Yeah, you can. I don't want to move around too much, but yeah, you can actually see the pipe now. Well, I bet you if I doubled it up, we probably could see it too. I can see, like, every now and then I can see, like, where it's bolted together, and it's coming out of, the flames are coming out of there. Let me try this. Let me just do the doubler and see if. I haven't seen any flame in 30 seconds. Am I looking in the wrong spot? Simon Dess, just letting you guys know we do not seeing any open flame anymore. Windy. Nine Hotel radio check. Just letting you know, we do not see any open fire anymore at all. I'm not saying it's out because we don't have a scanner to hear that, but a channel to hear that we have a scanner. But anyways, don't see any open flame, and I was going to do a what should we do for fuel thing. $30. John, 30. 35. 35. Good guess. 35. On. Mark Lucer, good afternoon. I do. We will. Thank you. Nine Hotel TOC, frequency 2. May we knock it down? Copy all, thank you.